Why do we like the taste of some things, but we hate the taste of others? For example, I hate smoked cheese. I remember when I was a boy, one day my mother had put smoked cheese on the table, which she didn't explain, I didn't know about it. So when I prepared my cracker and put the cheese on, there was this surprising new different taste that I didn't like at all. And ever since that day, I've just hated the taste of smoked cheese. But I like very much fried chopped onions. One day when I was very hungry and came home, I just loved the smell. It smelled so good and the taste was excellent. And ever since then, I have enjoyed it. So I've thought a little bit about the question, why is it that we like the taste of some things and not others? I think it has to do with the experience that we surround these things with. That gives some food for thought, don't you think? Stay with us, we'll be back.
Loneliness. Everybody feels it. But don't give up. Access friendship.
So what determines my taste or distaste for something has very much to do with the experience that I had surrounding it. And I think it is very much the same thing with God. Some people have a bad taste of God. I remember, for example, a friend of mine, always when we talked about my faith and God, he was very bitter and very negative and very critical. I could just see that he didn't feel well when we talked about God. And then as we continued our friendship, as years went by, I gradually came to understand that he had really been very much hurt by people who were believers, who were Christians, but who had not treated him at all in a fair and kind way. And because of that, for him, he had a bad taste when he heard about God. But there are other people who have a good taste about God. And it is because of the same thing. The way believers in God represented him made this person very tasty to them and wonderful. And these people wanted to know more and to share in tasting God as he really is. Jesus said to us that we should be his witnesses. And a witness in this sense is someone who represents Jesus and makes God taste good to people. Some Christians and Christian institutions have unfortunately during the history of time, over centuries, provided a very faulty witness of God, and they have given people a bad taste. And because of that, a lot of prejudice has been built up around God. I remember when I got married, my wife is from Rome in Italy, and I used to ask her, do you really eat spaghetti every day? And the background was that spaghetti to me was not at all a good dish, because I come from Sweden and the spaghetti in my home country was white and gluey and sticky, and the sauce was mostly composed of ketchup. And so I didn't at all look forward to come to her home and eat spaghetti. But when I came to her home the first time, and her mother, who was a very good cook, put a plate of spaghetti in front of me, and I took one bite. It was cooked with olive oil and with fresh tomatoes, and I think she had put carrots and all sorts of other good things in it. It was just an experience, and I liked it, and ever since then it has been my favorite meal. I think it is the same thing with God. People who dislike God dislike the way in which he has been represented. Psalm 34 verse 8 in the Bible says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good." And in Psalm 145, we see that there are some beautiful passages that witness to what the writer really had experienced about God. He says, "I will exalt you, my God, the King. I will praise your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord, and most worthy of praise. His greatness no one can fathom. The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and rich in love. The Lord is good to all. He has compassion on all He has made. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures through all generations. The Lord is faithful to all His promises and loving toward all that He has made. The Lord upholds all those who fall and lifts up all who are bowed down. The eyes of all look to you, and you give them their food at the proper time. You open your hand and satisfy the desires of every living thing. The Lord is righteous in all His ways and loving toward all He has made. The Lord is near to all who call on Him, to all who call on Him in truth. He fulfills the desires of those who fear Him. He hears their cry and saves them. The Lord watches over all who love Him. Now, this is a so-called acrostic poem in Hebrew, where the verses begin with the successive letters of the alphabet. And because of this, Bible scholars have known for a long, long time that verse 13b, the second half of verse 13, which begins with the letter N, was missing in the old manuscripts. So they used to reconstruct that part of the verse from the old surviving translations into Greek and Syriac. But through the findings of the Dead Sea Scrolls, this verse has been found in original Hebrew, and this is how it goes. The Lord is faithful to all His promises and loving toward all He has made. Now there are two ways in which you can taste and see that this is true of God. His faithfulness to all His promises is documented in the Bible. As you read it, you will find how God said something and then He kept His word. The whole Bible is built on that premise. And in fact, it seems that all the 66 books were collected to document that God's words and promises had been fulfilled and that they were true. The greatest part of this is, of course, God's promises of salvation from death, suffering, meaninglessness, and evil. If you read the Bible, and if you taste and see that the Lord is good, I think you will understand what we are talking about. God's love towards all that He has made is also documented in the Bible, but in addition to that, you will find it in the life experiences of Christian believers. An example is Paul of Tarsus, who described his life as a Christian in this way: "We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. We are persecuted, but not abandoned. We are struck down, but not destroyed." How often do we not feel hard pressed on every side, or perplexed, or struck down, maybe even sometimes persecuted? But the experience of God is that He never leaves us alone. We are not in despair, and we are not abandoned, because He walks with us. Wouldn't you want to share this Christian experience of God?
I'm Des Rafferty, Principal of the Adventist Discovery Centre here in the United Kingdom. We have 15 courses available, 10 Bible and 5 health courses that encourage individuals to continue their journey of discovery with God. If you'd like to join us, you can visit our website at discoveronline.org.uk. If you like what you see, then we would invite you to start your journey of discovery with the Adventist Discovery Centre.
Here's the money as we agreed. I trust you're gonna do well with this. I'm expecting a good return, alright? I had to work really hard to get hold of this money, so... What are you doing?
Many people who talk about God want to discuss the evidence that He exists. But the Bible says, taste and see. It means that you go out there and find God, join Him, walk with Him, and you try Him. You taste and see how it works. You experiment with God, and God invites you to do that. Now, sometimes God's love to us cannot be fully expressed. We know that, because we are caught in a world that is in the bondage of evil powers. But when that happens, we will find comfort in His promise of a new world. And sometimes we are unable to see God's love towards us because we are either blind or we are limited in our understanding for one reason or another. Then we find comfort in His guidance and in His illuminating power as we continue walking with Him. Taste and see that the Lord is good.